Mini episode 468 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by The Unheard Scene, your home for great music interviews of all stripes. Follow them on the web at unheardscene.com.
The FDH Lounge. You'll want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Welcome to mini episode 468 of the FDH Lounge. This is FDH managing partner Rick Morris here with the FantasyDraftHelp.com insider for our 11th season covering the NFL. This is your Week 3 recommendation for fantasy football starters. We've got some preface notes that we'll be delivering every week. First of all, our advice is probably a bit different than some in the industry. We're not the place to go regarding the question of whether or not to play a healthy Aaron Rodgers this week. Aside from reiterating our list of gimmies, we don't discuss them beyond that. We're also not part of the movement that overstates the importance of week-to-week matchups. Sadly, if you bungled your draft or auction, there's not much except a great stroke of luck on the waiver wire that can salvage your season. Now, in very shallow leagues, you can pick up potential impact players off the waiver wire, but you hardly need a fantasy football industry source to tell you to do that. We play the percentages on giving our advice, which is all that anyone can do, even those in the industry who purport to own a crystal ball. You'll always get intellectual honesty from us. Okay, here's our list of constants for the season. When healthy, you don't jerk with these guys. You leave them in your lineup regardless of scary matchups. There are 3 quarterbacks, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees. There are 12 running backs, Jamal Charles, Shady McCoy, Adrian Peterson, Matt Forte, Marshawn Lynch, Monty Ball, Eddie Lacy, Alfred Morris, Arian Foster, Doug Martin, DeMarco Murray, and Giovanni Bernard. There are 8 wide receivers, Megatron, Demaryius Thomas, A.J. Green, Dez Bryant, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, Antonio Brown, and Julio Jones. There are 5 tight ends, Jimmy Graham, Julius Thomas, Vernon Davis, Jordan Cameron, and Rob Gronkowski. With the gimmies out of the way, in a moment, a look at the more marginal picks for this week. Folks, you're listening to the FantasyDraftHelp.com insider.
Get on up, stay on the scene.
What happened, Toast? I think he's on steroids. It's like trying to cover a f***ing racehorse.
Get up, get on up, stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine. Get on up, get up, get on up, stay on the scene. Get on up like a sex machine.
Remember, our recommendations for the Thursday NFL games are always up on our Twitter account at the FDH Lounge. We like 14 QBs this week. Tom Brady, Kirk Cousins, Jay Cutler, Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, Colin Kaepernick, Jake Locker, Andrew Luck, Eli Manning, Cam Newton, Phillip Rivers, Tony Romo, Matt Stafford, and Russell Wilson. We like 13 running backs. Joique Bell, Le'Veon Bell, Reggie Bush, Andre Ellington, Chris Ivory, Lamar Miller, Trent Richardson, Stephen Ridley, C.J. Spiller, Darren Sproles, Zach Stacy, Terrence West, and Danny Woodhead. We like 26 wide receivers. Anquan Bolden, Randall Cobb, Marcus Colston, Brandon Cooks, Michael Crabtree, Victor Cruz, Julian Edelman, Larry Fitzgerald, Michael Floyd, Pierre Garçon, Percy Harvin, Andrew Hawkins, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson, Jeremy Maclin, Jordy Nelson, Porter L. Patterson, Ryan Quick, Emmanuel Sanders, Steve Smith, Torrey Smith, Golden Tate, Mike Wallace, Sammy Watkins, Reggie Wayne, and Kendall Wright. We like 7 tight ends, Martellus Bennett, Zach Ertz, Antonio Gates, Greg Olson, Dennis Pitta, Delaney Walker, and Jason Witten. There are 3 teams that we have labeled as all out, meaning that we don't like any of their players, Oakland, Jacksonville, and Kansas City. Conversely, we have 2 all-in teams, Chicago and Denver, meaning that we like all of their marginal players in addition to the gimmies on each team. Every week, we also recommend 5 of these players as especially strong, and this week's slate includes Tom Brady, Chris Ivory, Stephen Ridley, Andre Johnson, and Sammy Watkins. Thanks for checking us out. Again, for a more comprehensive look at this year's fantasy football season, Download our free guide, Fantasy Football Draftology 2014 at fantasydrafthelp.com, and you can also download our brand new guide for fantasy hockey and soon for fantasy hoops. Go break off a little value on your opponents in fantasy sports, and be sure to sample our other Nothing is Off Topic mini episodes, including our recent conversations with superstars such as Rick Bucher, Kenny Albert, and Bobby Kimball from the FDH Lounge.
As we bring the show to a close, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to NBC, CBS, ABC, Fox, all Clear Channel affiliates, TNT, TBS, USA, UPN, Deadspin.com, YouTube.com, YTMND.com, MySpace.com, various blogs, Fox News, CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, IamBoard.com, Billboard.com, Google.com, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPN Classic, NBA TV, NFL Network, Sports Time Ohio, Athlon Magazine, Comedy Central, Cartoon Network, The Boomerang Channel, QVC, BET, The Spice Channel, Steno Notebooks, Manwich, Papermate Office Supplies, waitresses, strippers, bartenders, garbage men, janitors, microwave popcorn, the writers of The Office, Scrubs, Entourage, My Name is Earl, Oz, Metalocalypse and the Boondocks, Aquafina, and the Periodic Table of Elements.